Oh, have I been muted this whole time? My bad, guys. Apparently I've been muted this whole time. My bad. I've been sitting here talking. Yeah. Anyways, what I was saying is that the Nasdaq's pretty muted. We're sitting right under 26,200. Bitcoin at 110s, back up a little bit. Gold sitting at 4,000. The president did talk about using potentially the nuclear option, which would end the shutdown, and it would basically mean they would change the vote to a simple majority versus needing 60 and just ending the shutdown today. The president is urging them to do that. He came out with a social media post yesterday pushing for that. It would be the first time in history this was done for something like this, but it's possible for them to do it. It is a way we might get out of the shutdown, so I'm hoping they do it just to end the shutdown, you know. And if you want them to end the shutdown, you should hope they do it too. The Beach, Craig, Joseph, Tronic. Odds of a shutdown ending are still pretty light, though. I mean, if we look at it. Odds of the shutdown lasting 41 days now. 44% think over 45 days. Yeah, again, we did have the president come out urging them to use what's called the nuclear option, which would mean they change the vote to a simple majority and then end the shutdown today. I don't know if they're going to do it, but we did have China Xi coming out saying stuff. China Xi says Thailand should speed up railway building. To Japan, Prime Minister says ties facing changes and opportunities, says healthy, stable relations with Japan in both countries' interests. U.S. Defense Secretary said he discussed serious U.S. concerns about China's activity in South China Sea with Chinese counterpart. We had some earnings come out this morning as well. If we take a look at bond yields this morning, yields are pretty much muted overnight. I mean, they're still about 4.1%, which is what they were yesterday. About 4.1%. If you see this here, the yield's still sitting right around 4.1. A little elevated since yesterday or since today's Fed meeting, but yeah, up to 4.1%. If you take a look at the watch tool here, still 67% likely to be cut rates in December, 67%. Again, Apple and Amazon did post numbers yesterday. If you look at the bottom of the screen, Apple posted 185, expected 178, 102.5 versus 102.14 expected for Apple. Won't happen, only need a few more votes. There's 53, need 7. Rather use leverage. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. That's why you gotta hate politics sometimes. Both sides. Again, Bitcoin back up to 110s and a more optimistic sign. This thing dipped all the way down yesterday to like 106. Scary times, scary times. China's cabinet meeting aims to deepen reform in key areas. Go for midterms. Yeah, maybe. Hey, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's bump those numbers up while we're waiting. Again, Bank of America Global Research raises the price target to Apple for $325 from $320, or the price objective, they say. Morgan Stanley raised Apple's price target to $305 from $298. We also had Exxon earnings. We had some Exxon earnings come out. Here's Exxon right here. Some oil companies. There's Exxon right there. Look at the NASDAQ up to 26,200. Yeah, Exxon came out about 45 minutes ago. Aon came out about 45 minutes ago. We had some other ones. Exxon recorded 510 million restructuring costs in Q3. China says China and Canada are going to expand trade energy ties. We also had Chevron. Citigroup raised the price target on Apple from 245 to 315. Here's Chevron's earnings as well. I'll put those numbers up in the chat. Yeah, are we gonna have any data? Probably not. I mean, the government shutdown's still here. I'm hoping they end it today or next week, but as of now, government shutdown's still here. Still gotta wait for it to finish. When do you guys think the government shutdown will end? Let's do a poll. I think it's a good question. All right, so we got today, we got next week, which ends the 7th of November, would be the end of next week. We've got the 14th. And then we got something else. And then you can leave a comment here. Go to the poll. Let me know what you guys think. NASDAQ's starting to fight its way back up, though. You know, we've been incredibly choppy today. I mean, you can kind of see the range on the NASDAQ here. But again, it's been a very good week for me trading. Made money almost every day. I think we've only had one losing day out of 4 accounts that we've traded pretty actively throughout the week. If we take a look at this here. Yeah, one account were green 3 out of 3. Other account were green 4 out of 4 days. Another account were green 3 out of 4 days. Another account were green 4 out of 4 days. So we've been green on basically everything. We only had one losing day total and 4 funded accounts. Maybe we should activate another one. I got another one I can play with too. We are in a like a really sideways range here, though. I mean, we're not really moving that much. I don't think it'll go for a while longer. What's up, R? Just a question. Yeah. 52-week low, 97. Yeah, remember, I almost bought the meta dip. I'm starting to wonder if I should have or not. That is actually green a little bit this morning, if you look at it. Gold's still over 4,000. Yeah, Netflix doing the 10-to-1 split. I told you guys they probably would. I mean, it's not hard to predict, just because Netflix over $1,000 a share, right? Especially with some of the more negative reactions they've seen to their earnings. It's just not a shock that they're gonna reduce their share price. The post-split share price for Netflix after November, what is it, 27th? The post-split share price will be about $110, $115 a share, wherever Netflix is. At that point in time, it'll be 10 times less. If it's 1,000, 1,100 right now, it'll be about 110 after the split, is essentially how that works. All right, I think the Nasdaq's green technically on the day, right? Let's see. The Nasdaq is technically green. Good. Yeah, Nasdaq's green. Nvidia made a deal with South Korea. Hey, what's up, Matthew? Honeywell International also split. I don't actually hate Honeywell stock where it's at now. It's a little volatile though, but I don't hate it. Nasdaq up there. Let's look at 200s. I think 200s makes sense. 26. And then obviously we got the top of the range right here at 220. Watch that, but 200 seems to be a psychological level. See if we can pull back and hold, or what's going on here. Yeah, Amazon drove gains yesterday after their strong quarterly results. It followed disappointing Meta earnings. And Microsoft earnings. 10-year treasury yields again hit 4.1%. 2-year bonds are at 3.6. Markets are pricing in a 67% likelihood, roughly 70% likelihood the Fed cuts rates in December. We'll see if that changes. The government should obviously resume by then. Let me see. And the Fed meeting was on the 29th. So if it's in December, it's going to be like mid-December, like early to mid-December for the Fomc. All right, let me see exactly the date. The date for it would be December 10th. Yeah. Okay. It's every 6 weeks. So if you calculate it every 6 weeks, you can out. I don't know about LSU. I didn't like Coach Kelly either. I didn't like Brian Kelly. I thought he won when he was at Notre Dame, and I thought he left Notre Dame and then they won a championship, and then went to LSU. And once he went to LSU, they started losing too. And they didn't lose; they had winning records, but a lot of people would say the talent LSU has better than their record. Although I don't know, I don't really knock them for A&M's loss. A&M looks good this year, dude. A&M's just good. Maybe it's because I live in Texas right now, but A&M good this year. Honestly, I went to the physical therapist yesterday for my leg, and bro, I don't know if she was new, but she had me doing all kind of stuff I didn't think I was supposed to do. She had me doing calf raises. You know, she had me doing like lifting my knees high in the air and doing all this stuff. She said I could basically run. I don't know, man. Now my foot kind of hurts today, so I don't know. Kind of skeptical. You get that bill? Leg longer than the shutdown? Which will last longer? My knee healing or the government shutdown? Maybe that's a better question for the poll today. Which will last longer? Yeah, I don't honestly, look, it's not that I'm against the physical therapy, but it's just kind of like, I can do this stuff at home. And I have been doing it at home. I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm doing foot inversions, I'm doing heel slides, you know. And she's like, how did you figure that out? I was like, AI. So I'm not saying they're useless, but I don't know. All right, guys, well, let's watch 26,200 here. Again, if we look at the S&P right now, S&P's at 585 or 685. I think the S&P wants 700 or 7,000, I should say. I think the S&P 500 wants 7,000. I think the SPY wants 700. I think we might test those levels sometime soon. Oh no, I don't feel bad for Brian Kelly at all, bro. Brian Kelly's buyout is like $54 million. You know, listen, they can buy me out for 54 million, you know, and I won't coach there. 54 million is a ridiculous number. It essentially makes him like one of the richest people in Baton Rouge. You know, I mean, he's probably leaving now, but still. I don't think anybody's gonna choose to stay in Baton Rouge if they've got money like that. No offense to Baton Rouge. I love Baton Rouge. I'm from Baton Rouge. But Baton Rouge is kind of sketchy. From somebody that grew up there, Baton Rouge is kind of sketchy now. Especially now, it's even more sketchy than it was maybe 20, 30 years ago. There's a lot of crime there, unfortunately now. Yeah, Blue Jays are about to win this thing, man. Good for them. You see Vlad over there living life. Yeah, Netflix did a 10-to-1 split. After the split's over, Netflix will be about $110 a share, depending on where they stop. Again, the S&P is up today, 685 from 679 on the SPY. The actual E-mini is at 6,900s. Again, when do you guys think the S&P is going to break? S&P is going to break 7,000. I think it's going to be sometime in the next month, probably. I might be wrong though, so don't copy me. But sometime in the next month seems like, you know, seems reasonable to assume. Yeah, I mean, Netflix over 1,000. It's not crazy to. Yeah, I mean, it's been rough for years since I lived there. I haven't lived there in a long time, over a decade. But it's been rough. Again, you don't realize it when you grow up there, to be honest. Not really. But all right, so China's Shida, Japan's prime minister, says two sides can enhance cooperation in high-end manufacturing via CCTV. They said China's going to optimize service market access rules. Again, today is day 31 of the government shutdown. So essentially, if we go over the weekend, we're going to come out on day 3 or 4, which would make it day 4. It would be tied. If we go past Tuesday or Wednesday next week, I think it's Wednesday. If we get to Wednesday next week, it'll be the longest shutdown technically in history. Wednesday day. AI's taking physical therapy jobs now too. Wolverine? I wish I was Wolverine, bro. Did things you weren't supposed to do? I mean, I don't know if I was supposed to do them. According to AI, I shouldn't be doing calf raises right now. Calf raises are basically where you stand on your toes. According to AI, my spring ligament is not healed enough to be doing that type of stuff. But I think she asked me to do it once and I had no pain. So she was like, okay, if it doesn't hurt, you can do this. Maybe she's right. She probably knows more than me. Who will win, AI or the physical therapist? Let me know in chat right now. Again, Netflix originally reacted well to this stock split announcement. Yeah, we did a poll. 31% think the government's gonna the shutdown will end today. 27% say next week. 25% say before November 14th. 17% say something else. I'm gonna pull my costume out a little bit later. All right, guys. Nasdaq at 26,193. Nasdaq coming back down. Could not hold 26,200. Again, let's take a look. Again, Amazon up big percentages from 220 to 250 for Amazon. It's up over 10%. Apple from 270 to almost 280. Almost $10 a share and roughly a $300 company. So 3%, whatever that is for Apple. S&P up slightly from around 68.94 to 6,900. It's very slight. Netflix still up on the day too. We said government shutdowns today. I mean, source. I mean, there's not really a source. The only source that I can really think of is the president, where he made a lengthy social media post. And let's talk about it. So the president came out. When did he come out saying? President came out 9 hours ago. So yesterday evening, the president said, and again, I'm quoting the president. I'm not saying I agree, disagree, neutral. Quoting the president's, social media post. Quote, I just got back from Asia where I met leaders of many countries, including China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and others. It was a great honor to meet them, but more particularly to see that America is respected again, respected like never before. Exclamation point. Great trade deals were made, long-term relationships now exist, and money is pouring into our country because of tariffs and, frankly, the landslide results of the election. One question that kept coming up, however, was how did the other side shut down the U.S., and why did the powerful right allow them to do it? The fact is, in flying back, I thought a great deal about that question. Quote, why? Majority Leader John Thune and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson are doing a great job, but the left are they want trillions of dollars to be taken for our healthcare system and given to others. Many people have come into this country. This will hurt citizens. It is now time for them to play their trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster. Get rid of it now. Just a short while ago, while empowered, they fought for 3 years to do this, but weren't able to pull it off because Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kristen Sinema of Arizona never have they fought so hard to do something because they... Okay. Essentially, I'm going to just start paraphrasing here. Look, essentially, he wants them to end the shutdown now, and he wants them to do it through what's called the nuclear option. Now, you need 60 votes. They've got like what, 54, 53. So they need 6 to 7 votes from the other side to end the filibuster. What the president is urging them doing here, and again, I'm not saying I agree with this. Not an investment professional. I'm pretty neutral politically. Although whatever will end the government shutdown, to be honest, for selfish reasons outside of anything political, I'm for it. Now, one of the options is they could do what's called the nuclear option, which is change it to a simple majority versus needing 60 votes, right? They could change it from 60 to just a simple majority, which they already have. And then the government shutdown would end, as soon as that happens. Could be today. I don't necessarily think they're going to. And if they did do it, it would be the first time in history they did that. And so I'm sure they get some heat for it. But regardless, as I've said, selfish reasons, I hope they do it. I just want them to end the government shutdown. All Yeah, again, the pressure. I asked AI when the government shutdown would end, and AI said it would probably end anytime between Thursday, Friday, and Monday next week. And they said basically the pressure from the SNAP benefits expiring would be would mount, and it would be too much. Again, some people are arguing, which I think is a plausible argument, that the government shutdown will at least last until Wednesday, because if it goes past Tuesday next week, it's the longest shutdown in history. So some people are arguing it'll at least go past Wednesday, at least go past Tuesday of next week for that reason specifically. I don't know. I hope that's wrong, but we'll see. All right, so European Union and China technical talks on export dialogue are underway. European Commissioner speaking, saying he sees no justification in prolonging export bans regarding Ukraine food products and looking to remove these export bans. We had Dominion Energy post numbers just now. Again, we did have Amazon and Apple earnings that came out earlier yesterday, and they're up big. Although the NASDAQ is up some, but it's kind of quiet. You can look at how choppy the markets are. Really, for the last day straight, NASDAQ hasn't really budged. If you look at this, we're essentially flat, and this is all the way back to like yesterday. So here's the 31st right here. All right, so this is today. And so this has lasted since yesterday, where we're basically just kind of going up and down and up and down and up and down. Maybe it's time to attack a range. The question is, do we have anything that can break us out of this range? I don't know. We'll see if we get anything that can break us out of this range. I'm really not sure. Yeah, it's the end of the month, last day of the month. It's Friday. And bring economic data back. Honestly, even if the government stays shut down, we get some economic data next week. And I think even if the government resumes, it's still going to be a little, like a week or two before they compile the data that they need to get the stuff out. You know what I mean? So I think, like, regardless, it's still going to be, we got some economic data next week, though. What we have next week, again, is the ADP. We got the weekly ADP jobs report Tuesday, 8:15. We're going to cover it. We got the monthly ADP jobs report Wednesday, 8:15. We're going to cover it. It's something. It's better than nothing. And, because all the other stuff is shut down, you know, because all the other stuff is shut down, it's the only report we're really getting that's relevant. We don't get jobless claims once a week like we used to. We don't get any of that stuff. So PCE inflation does not come out today, Jeffrey. It's a government released. So unfortunately, I wish it did, but unfortunately it's not coming out today. Just because it's released by the government, by government entity, and the government shut down. They brought back CPI for one time for Social Security reasons, but you know, unfortunately, PCE GDP data was supposed to come out yesterday at 8:30 as well. It didn't. If the government was resumed, we would have gotten jobless claims and GDP yesterday, and then PCE inflation data today. But again, the government shut down. So the thing about it, though, is that when the government resumes, we'll get we'll get an array of data coming out, like, consolidated together, you know, hopefully. But I appreciate the donation, Jeffrey. Thank you, sir. AI doesn't work out, we're really screwed. Well, what's the situation in which you think AI won't work out? I think AI is already wrapped in everything we use. It's wrapped into the stock market, it's wrapped into data, it's wrapped into economics, it's wrapped into, obviously, technology. It's wrapped into manufacturing, it's wrapped into consulting, it's wrapped into art, you know. I think it's basically pinched itself into everything we use. And I think that's obvious. It's just the more efficient thing. Like, using AI is more efficient. Data was getting too negative, don't look behind the curtain. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Some people are arguing that for sure. And again, I really am neutral with all this stuff. Like, people think I'm not neutral. I really am. And I think the president wants to end the shutdown because I think it's a bad look for the longest shutdown in history. The two largest shutdowns in history to be under his watch. Regardless of whether it's his fault or not. It's a bad look. And so I think he's trying to end it now. Again, looking at our poll, 28% think today, 29% think before the 14th, which would make it, again, that'd be 2 weeks away. AI is limited to chatbots? No, it's not. AI is in everything at this point in time. All right, NASDAQ back over 26,200. Watch 220. It's the top of the range we've seen over the last day, basically. E-mini pushing up. Amazon and Meta. Apple. Meta's down. Amazon. Technically, I think Meta's actually green on the day, but it was red yesterday. Yeah, so technically Meta's green, but Meta fell all the way to 650s yesterday at the opening bell. So. I don't know, Bitcoin back up to 110 today. We'll see if it holds. We also have AMD stocks, speaking of AI, at 259s. Been a wild week, though. Been an interesting week. Netflix did do a split. Netflix did do a split. Alright, so EU's Virkkunen met semiconductor industry CEOs yesterday, apparently. All right, guys. Y'all see anything that's worth buying right now in stocks? Give me your arguments for stocks to buy right now. I'm curious. I'll look at stocks if you guys mention them. If they're penny stocks, you might not hear what you want from them. But again, let me know what you guys think is a good dip buy right now. Again, my conditions that I want for these type of dip buys are very simple. I do not want stocks that are downtrending for years. Instead, I want a stock that's downtrending maybe for 6 months. If it's a healthy long-term company, margins are good, PE ratio is low, and it's been downtrending for 6 months, I might be interested in buying it. Meta's also down pretty significantly. I might jump back on the Meta dip buy train again if we get another pullback. ALB. ALB's been downtrending since 2023. Been downtrending for 2.5, 3 years. Just down too much. There might be some range there, but it's just down too much for me, unfortunately. Sorry, brother. Novo? No, it's a biotech play. It's been downtrending for about a year. Novo might be arguable. I think Novo might be arguable for a dip buy. I'll keep it considered for NVO. I mean, I'm in him still, but I've taken most of the profit off, and I'm still green. But I'm still in it. What's the symbol, Johnny? Yeah, we already had Exxon earnings. If you scroll up a lot in the chat, you'll see Exxon earnings. I'll repost them just so you can see them. Yeah, here's Exxon right here. Again, this is Exxon's numbers in chat right here. ADM's okay, but it's not really on a dip that I like buying. It's kind of moving up over the last little bit versus, you know. Yeah, I mean, Meta's interesting for sure. Look at the NASDAQ rip over this range here, guys. Look at the NASDAQ climb. So NASDAQ is up a little bit now. AbbVie just posted numbers. I don't think this is AbbVie moving markets. Yeah, give me a second. I'll take a look at all those. There's AbbVie right there. Yeah, look at the NASDAQ rip. E-mini ripping. Meta's pushing up. Could be Meta related. Netflix is still down. Nvidia's climbing a little bit higher as well. Yeah, Nvidia up to 207s again. Wait, where's all-time highs on Nvidia? 212s. So Nvidia close to all-time highs again. All right, we get a dip to 210. I might buy this dip. I need a dip to 210 to buy it, though. I don't want to dip. Yeah, Palantir Monday. Yeah. What's the chime symbol? CHYM. Just had a terrible year. It IPO'd not that long ago too. It IPO'd in June. It's down from 44s, 45, down to 17. It's been downtrending this entire time. Maybe it's again, if you know about the company, maybe it's an argument. Meta and Tesla. I think Meta has a higher chance of announcing a split than Tesla. Tesla could. Weird. I don't know why it's muted like that. I don't know why my mic keeps muting randomly here. What I said is that Oracle doesn't look bad outside of its PE ratio is 60 right now. So Oracle's PE ratio right now, guys, is 60. Its average 5-year PE ratio is 30. And so you can kind of see Oracle has, if Oracle's PE ratio wasn't super high, I mean, it's because of AI, right? But if Oracle's PE ratio wasn't super high, I might buy it. Hold on, here's a dip. I'm going to start adding a little bit to this position here. Go. I wanted 210s. I didn't quite get it. Hope we don't reject 220 here. There we go. I can sell right here at the top. Maybe I'll just hold this one break even. Go up a little bit more. Maybe I'll add to it in the green. We're in 4 now. There we go. We cut half of it up there. I wanted 310 or 210s. We didn't quite get it. We might add a dip back. We have a cushion now on the day too, right here. If this 220 holds. Okay, there's 5. All right, let's bounce. Ready with a cushion. I want to see if it pops. There we go. I took a piece off again. A little bit more off. Get the streak holds. I'm gonna reduce size, break even right here. Give it a second to hold though. I want to see if it holds this 220, which was the previous high up here. Like, look at 220. So that's what I'm looking at to see. Like, it pushed over it, then it dipped down. I want to see if it bounces right back up here, but like, we pushed over it, dipped down, see if we rebound back up and retest this level. But I've already made money, so I can kind of hold it close to break even if it doesn't do that. But I'd love it to do that. There we go. I'm gonna cut it right here. It looks like it's just not holding. It might bounce again. We made money on the trade, but this looks like it's just not holding. Maybe it'll fake me out, but you see top 3. Alright, the sound is back though, right guys? Again, we don't have any economic data today. 0 economic data right now. Yeah, how long did y'all yell at me that we were muted? Okay, sound is good. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Again, give me an argument. Oracle's PE ratio is a little bit too high. Meta's pulling back some. Is Meta worth a dip buy here? I tried it yesterday, failed at it. We're still back up here. Hours? Ask yourself, are EVs going to be much more popular in 2030 and beyond? If so, lithium is a great long-term play. Give me some lithium companies. Let's take a look at them. PPI is not coming out today, guys. Unfortunately. PPI is not releasing today. Oh, dude, I got faked out. I should have held my long, guys. Guys, how could you do this to me? I blame you, chat. It's y'all's fault, man. Y'all should have known it was going to rebound and said, John, stop. Getting faked out. Y'all are supposed to be my eyes and ears. You know? Instead, I'm sitting here alone. You know? How do you split up your money in a general sense for long-term investments and trading? Well, it depends. Diversification. Easy. Or a little bit in real estate, a little bit in investments, a little bit in swing trading, a little bit in shorter term trading, and a little bit in crypto, you know. All right, guys. We're not investment professionals. I don't even know what an investment professional is, but I'm definitely not one. Understand all this stuff on screen. Do not copy me. Understand all this stuff. If you see it, I mean it. Don't copy me. Top 3 worst trader ever. Don't do it. The Fed will start printing money. Where's the pump? Well, ending QT is good. And they'll probably start QE sometime next year. Let's just be honest. But we still got a little bit of a lag between then. Invest professionals. The money takes your money. All right, guys. NASDAQ. Is this the high of the day? It is. NASDAQ testing highs of the day. Up to 26,230s. High of the day is 26,231. capping highs of the day right now in the NASDAQ here. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're very close here, chat. 26,232s. Should I buy Meta on the dip? I might. Will Bitcoin hit 150K this year? Bitcoin is just going to make it lower. And yeah, Bitcoin back up to 110s, which is good. NASDAQ broke all-time highs slightly. Very slightly. 234. New all-time high on the NASDAQ. Right around 234. Again, E-mini still pushing. Alright, so we asked people, when will the government shutdown end? 28% think before November 14th. Alright, guys, sorry. Yeah, gold, on the other hand, guys, if you take a look at gold this morning, gold's still above 4,000. It's actually moving up a little bit. NASDAQ just broke all-time highs again. 26,233, all-time high on the NASDAQ here, 26,233. And again, I don't think we have any major economic reports today. Thinking about buying Meta's dip again. Top 3 worst, most stubborn trader ever here. I'll buy it really small. What do we buy? Like 10 shares? Right. But a little bit. You know what? I'll take 10. Average price 676. I'll try to hold this long term. It's not risk free though. You know, Netflix dipped a lot. So maybe Netflix. What's Netflix's PE ratio? Let's take a look at that one. Netflix has a PE ratio of about 45, so it's still not good. Meta's PE ratio, it's about 27. Not bad. Okay, guys. I will be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my costume for today. Some people requested it. Nasdaq's still breaking highs here. Nasdaq's still breaking highs. Like, I can even swim over here if I wanted to. Like, look. Hold on. There we go. My hands are floating as well. Yeah, I think they're going to go for a record shutdown. If it lasts longer than Tuesday next week, it'll be the longest shutdown in history. Tuesday next week. Again, Netflix PE ratio is still a little bit too high for me to buy it. To be honest, just a little bit too high. Nasdaq still breaking highs up to 240 right now, 240. We're going for swing 2 on Meta. Maybe I'm being too stubborn. PE ratio is low enough to maybe argue it's worth it. Where's Microsoft at right now? Honestly, I couldn't in good principle buy Microsoft right now after what it did to me yesterday. Again, Netflix is looking a little dippy here. Nasdaq still ripping up. I should have held that dip buy I got involved with. He is okay. Low 2. A good PE ratio is like under 30. I would say like 25, 20. Conventionally, it was 15, but I think PE ratios have changed since then. So. See. Alright, guys. Alright, look at the Nasdaq break all-time highs right here. So it's going up there. It's going up. It's making moves. It's trying. He's doing okay. I went to PT yesterday. They had me do a bunch of stuff. Again, I did bought Meta again. Will Meta bounce for me? See when the government shutdown ends. That's working. Here, I gotta put the live chat on. Again, Nasdaq, if you look up here, Nasdaq's still breaking highs right now. Look at the Nasdaq push up. Making moves. It held right there. I ended up buying the dip right around here. And, being the huge trading wimp that I am, I covered it when it dipped a little bit lower. And then it ended up flying back up, unfortunately. So, my fault, I guess. Yeah, the bodiless horseman. That's what I am today. Nasdaq still ripping up. Nvidia up to almost 208s. All right, we're still pushing up. Again, we don't have any economic data. We got 18 minutes. All right, guys. NASDAQ still up to 240s. Anything happen somewhere right now? Not really. Markets are just pushing up. Again, we can look into the catalyst that came out this morning. The president is urging them to use the nuclear option, which means they would change the votes to a simple majority and end the shutdown today. Outside of that, it's kind of slow right now. I mean, it is Halloween. It is Friday. It is the end of this month. It's the last day of the month. So a lot of stuff going on in that context. But outside of that, it's a little boring here in markets. NASDAQ still fighting its way back up. Again, we did have Meta earnings earlier in the week. Yesterday we had Apple and Amazon earnings, and they both did really well, especially Amazon. If you look at Amazon here, Amazon's up over 10% to 250. Started at around 225, it's up to 250. So Amazon is up a significant amount, over 10% from their earnings. We also had Apple earnings. Gold pushing back up to 4,025. NASDAQ still breaking highs. Let's watch 250 here. I think 250 makes sense. We'll see if we get over 250. Kind of getting back up there here. All-time highs on the NASDAQ, remember, are somewhere around 26.4s. We're at 26.250, so we're not that far away from all-time highs on the NASDAQ. The question is, does the market want the all-time high level here? I don't know. Watching 250 right around where we're at. Let's try shorting this. Definitely risky. Right here, I'm going to short it right here. We'll maybe add a little bit more to it. All right, we're up there. We're up to 250. We just tapped 250. We are seeing some strength. And we're in 3. Let's get a little bit more here, maybe 4 or 5. I've been scaling up my size too. Hope it works. All right, there we go. Got a little bit of a rejection here initially here. Let's see if we keep breaking. Oof. Not what I wanted. Traders getting squeezed out at the top. I'm going to cut it right there. We were already green on the day, so we'll be all right. Yeah, today's October ending day. Why is the S&P down and the SPY up? Should they not move in harmony? Well, they're different stocks. The S&P 500 is 500 of the largest companies in the world. NASDAQ is the same thing. Both of them are green on the day, though. The S&P's at 686, closed at 680 roughly. NASDAQ's at 26,250. Closed, like the QQQ closed at 626. So they're all kind of green on the day. NASDAQ's getting a surge here though. Momentum. Again, Treasury reported that Besson had a discussion earlier today. Besson discussed technology, supply chain, and U.S. investment, according to a Treasury official. EU's trade chief Šefčovič said had detailed talks with U.S. on steel and aluminum. Or as Europe says, aluminium. Besson had a discussion with Lynn at the Apex sidelines, according to the Treasury Department. NASDAQ is still fighting higher. Again, this could be Amazon if we look at it. Amazon's starting to move back up here at 251.20s for Amazon. Another company that reported yesterday, Apple, also green up to 278s right now. You can watch 26.3s. NASDAQ's getting closer to all-time highs, though. Jefferies raises Apple to hold from underperforming, raises the price target to 246 from 203. You're a little late on Apple. Apple's at 278. We're looking for a pullback to 89,000. $26,260. Broadcom? Where's Broadcom at? I haven't looked at this in a minute. I had a couple deals done earlier, like a month ago. Broadcom's still up very much. It's almost to $400 a share. Listen, after today, I can play this Christmas music without feeling guilty. Okay. President will meet NVIDIA CEO. Jensen? EU Sefcovic announces they're trying to solve the US pasta anti-dumping issue. And again, the president again came out this morning. Government shutdown hits 31 days today. Still looking not very likely the government shutdown is going to end. You got a large number of people that think the shutdown is going to end between November 4th through the 7th. But it also says 39% of people think the government shutdown is going to last past November 16th. It's still not the majority expectation. Everybody's kind of split here. So, like, just to look at the odds. You know about the floating head? Yeah, look at me. Even like swim, kind of. That's my swimming. Don't hate on my swimming. All right, I love you guys. No. Love you guys.
Love you, Dad.
Love you. Yeah, look. They said I'm the bodiless horseman. Bodiless trader, yeah. I like horses. You saw me in Michigan.
Yeah.
You saw me.
Alright.
Greatest horse rider ever, you know. Alright, I love you. Have a good day. Alright guys, NASDAQ still testing highs here. $100 on the pullback. Again, Apple and Amazon are driving this. Nvidia's up there too. I thought about buying Netflix. The problem right now with stocks is you have to kind of find... Look at the NASDAQ still ripping up here, guys. Wow. Does the market know something we don't? Again, NVIDIA CEO Jensen said Rubin goes to production in the second half of next year. NVIDIA is going to supply 260,000 AI chips to South Korea. Again, Jensen Huang said Rubin goes to production in the second half of next year. Besant thanked Malaysia's Prime Minister for hoping the US-China talks. NASDAQ still ripping up. Is this NVIDIA related here? Problem with checking some of these news is that like bot spam things, unfortunately. And Nvidia doesn't look to be the root cause of the move, but Nvidia's up to 207s right now, 207s. What's your arguments against going all in the TR that coin right now? It's a little meme-ish, I would say. And I don't really trade memes. I mean, good luck. Make your money. I'm not mad at you if you do. I'm really not. But I just don't really trade that type of stuff. NASDAQ continues to push. Again, this looks mostly driven by Amazon right now, if I had to pick one. Amazon looks to be the one pulling everything up. Look at Amazon's volume right now in pre-market. Amazon up to 253s. I believe it just broke highs of the day. No, not quite highs of the day. High of the pre-market session and extended hour session is 255.55. We still got a little ways. That's about right here. A lot of this is Amazon, though. Microsoft is the deal. Yeah, you're right. Microsoft is flying up right now. Look, here's Microsoft. Up to 530, basically. Still down from earnings, though, right? Yeah, not too. Microsoft's kind of here. Again, NASDAQ up to 270. I watched 275 up here, but this doesn't look to be stopping. Again, look at Microsoft. Oh, here, let me get my floating head out the way. Look, there's Microsoft right here. There's Microsoft. Watch 275. See if it holds. The problem with buying stocks right now is that PE ratios are so elevated, and maybe we grow into those PE ratios. It's possible, but PE ratios are so elevated right now in most tech companies, so it's hard to find tech companies worth buying. You guys agree with me that PE ratios are too elevated right now, and a lot of conventional tech stocks? 530 for Microsoft almost. Microsoft's still edging higher. $75s. See if we hold. Goldman Sachs reiterates a buy on Nvidia, price target 240. Michael Saylor said we're hearing rumors that major banks in the US will start to buy Bitcoin, custody Bitcoin, and issue credit against the native Bitcoin asset in the first half of next year. Goldman Sachs, maybe Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, Bank of America. Besson said they discussed trade in rare earths with Malaysia Prime Minister. All right, so there's 275. We are getting a pullback, but again, Microsoft now over 530, Amazon now over 252, Apple now over 278s, Nvidia over 207s. PE ratios haven't mattered for quite some time. Stock's too hot if you want to get in. You wait. Gold rallying. Is gold going up? Here's gold on the top right. Above me, right here. Yeah, gold trying to go green on the day. It's technically red. The previous closing price for gold, 4,038. 4,038. And Microsoft at 530s. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, AWS has had issues, bro. Amazon's been pushing up most of the morning. Is benefiting from yesterday's earnings call. Earnings report, it's up over 10% today. Microsoft's still edging higher here. Gold now, this is why you should watch the previous closing price. Like, look, here's the previous closing gold. So there's the previous closing price, specifically in gold, and you can kind of see, even if we don't stop here completely, we go up to it, we pull back, and then sometimes we make another rip, and then sometimes we just don't hold over it. But the previous closing price is worth watching. It's a big level to pay attention to charts. And again, we do not have PCE today, unfortunately. We were supposed to get it, but it's not. Do we have any expectations? No. We do have Chicago PMI today. That's good. Drop it at 9:45 market time. We had European CPI this morning. European CPI showed up at 2.4% versus 2.3 expected, a little bit higher. Everything else was flat. Year over year, 2.1 versus 2.1%. They're within the range of 2% though. But their CPI came in flat to slightly higher. Canadian GDP drops. It's expected at 0% month over month for Canadian GDP. It drops in 3 minutes. 2 minutes, really. See if that moves anything. We'll cover it when it drops. It's not anything major, but we'll cover it. Starmer said they absolutely want to cut UK benefits bill. Am I muted again? Have I been muted again, or is he just saying stuff? Or he might just be delayed. The timer for what? What do we have today? We don't have PCE inflation, unfortunately, today. We just don't. Government shutdown. PCE inflation report scheduled for today is officially delayed due to the government shutdown. It's the PCE and GDP was scheduled yesterday. It's done by the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the BEA, as part of the Department of Commerce. It's fully shut down. No confirming updates anytime soon. We still got to wait for the shutdown to end. The president, again, came out saying they should do the nuclear option, which means they should change it to a simple majority and then end the shutdown today. Be the first time in history they used it for something like this. All right, guys. Here we go. We got some data coming out in 10 minutes or in 30 seconds. Again, put it in 2x speed. Hit the live button. Chicago PMI comes out at 9:45 though, so we'll see if that moves anything. I think next week we got ISM manufacturing PMI and some other stuff. So. Again, here we go. Here's the data. I'll cover it when it comes out, which is right now. Again, Canadian GDP showed up at negative 0.3% month over month for Canadian GDP. Negative 0.3 month over month Canadian GDP. This is for September. Negative 0.3% month over month. Last time was 0.3%. So Canada showed a negative number for GDP. I don't know what was expected. That's a little bit harder to see. But again, Canada just showed a negative number at 0.3% negative Canadian GDP month over month for September. So I don't know how much is going to move markets, really. I really don't. Here's the SPY. SPY's close. What? All-time highs on the SPY are 689.70, basically 690. We're at 686 on the S&P, on the SPY. Gold dipping down right at that previous close. Amazon for a trade. Hey, good job. Yeah, I mean, most people use that analogy though, Kim, so it's not just him using it. I mean, most people consider that. That's the name of it, kind of. Again, the Fed Schmidt is speaking right now. He's a voter, and he's one of the hawkish dissenters, basically pushing for higher interest rates. Say he votes to keep rates unchanged because of the continued momentum in the economy and concerns about high and potential spreading inflation. So he was the one dissenter, the hawkish dissenter. We had two dissenters this last meeting. Dissenters means they go against the grain. One of them wanted a 50 basis point cut. I'm pretty sure it was Moran. I think he just wants the Fed job. But one of them wanted a 50 basis point cut. I think it was Moran. And then this guy, Schmid, says he voted to keep rates paused because of continued momentum in the economy and concerns about high and potentially spreading inflation. Again, Canadian GDP 0.3% negative. ECE inflation does not come out today, guys. Again, the government is shut down. We don't get PCE inflation today, unfortunately. It's going to get rescheduled for whenever the government. He said, the Fed Schmidt also said the labor market's largely in balance. Any stress is likely due to a structural change, but inflation is too high. Rate cut could question Fed's commitment to 2% inflation. Monetary policy should lean against demand growth. Fed's policy stance is only modestly restrictive. Rate cuts can't address structural changes in the job market, assuming he's talking about AI. All right, here's a dip. 275 rejected it. Let's watch 250 now. Floating head or no floating head, guys? Again, we asked people when will the shutdown end. At this point, the majority is 29% think it's going to end next week. I think next week is plausible. Really, I think that's the most likely outcome is next week. The reason I think it's the most likely outcome is because I think we could go with the nuclear option. I'm not saying we, I'm just saying they could go with the nuclear option, better way to put it, which would mean they change the vote to a simple majority and then end the shutdown. That could happen today, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday. I don't freaking know when it's going to happen, but it could happen early next week. The only thing though, like there's a deadline. Tomorrow is the deadline. Tomorrow's November 1st. Today's the deadline, really. So there's some pressure to get it done today from both sides. But what I think is the longest shutdown in history will be if it lasts till Wednesday. If it lasts till Wednesday, it'll be technically the longest shutdown in history. And so I think maybe they're going to push it to that, or maybe we're going to get like a deadline vote Tuesday. Next week after Tuesday's elections, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think next week's plausible, the most plausible at this point. Let's ask AI again. All right, so we're asking AI again, when's the government shutdown going to end? 250 bounce. I could have bought the dip, but it's all right. Yeah, I mean, I hope it doesn't last until next month. Or next month's not bad. Next month is November. Yeah, well, most of the market looks at U.S. stuff, right? All right, the NASDAQ is now flushing all the way back down here. Let's see if we get any data. U.S. is chosen. Oh. Schmid says lower rates could hurt if Fed's commitment to 2% inflation target is called into question. Policy is now only modestly restrictive and still needs to lean against demand and price pressures. Financial conditions appear easy. Nothing to suggest they're particularly tight. Labor market largely in balance. Any stress likely due to structural changes that small rate cuts won't address. He said he dissented against rate cut because of continued momentum in the economy, concerns about high and potentially spreading inflation. Look at this dip in the market here, chat. Should I buy this dip? I don't want to. A little volatile though. We got in a little bit earlier. I'm not really the most confident. All right, we're gonna add down to this. We're gonna take 3, maybe 4. If we bounce at 220s now. 220 was the previous high level. There's 5. All right. That. It is Friday. Oh, there's 220s. There we go. There's a bounce. There we go. Get a larger bounce here, 220s. Yeah, so I see the U.S. has decided to attack military sites in Venezuela. That news might be affecting markets negatively here. That might be the sudden burst down in markets that we're seeing. All right, there we're flat. Can we get back up there? Close, we're flat. There we go, we're green. There we go. Nice. Okay, we're basically out of this, and now we're technically green on the day again. And we're out. Made a little bit under 100 bucks on that dip buy here. We wanted 220s. We started getting in a little early, and there's the bounce we got from it, so that's good. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh, sneezing over here, guys. All right, we're back. Look at gold. Gold is now technically green on the day. Yeah, gold now effectively green on the day. You can kind of see it up here. It's over the previous closing price, over the blue line. So I think maybe the news spiked uncertainty and made gold pop up. Yeah, I think it's the Venezuela news that's causing markets to dip, but did get bought up there. Yeah, Bitcoin back up to 110s, which is good. Down a little bit over the last 30 minutes, though. All right, NASDAQ coming back down here. Look at this drop. Big red pullback here. Yeah, so look at the NASDAQ fall. NASDAQ dipping down now. Under these levels. NASDAQ coming down. All right, NASDAQ testing. Here's 220 right here. This is 220. This is what I bought the dip for. I never attack the retest, though, because the retests are where we can get bigger drops. I'm not saying that's what we're going to get. But, I'm just kind of showing you what's going on. There's 220 again. It looks like we might bounce there again. Hold on, let's see. 200 exponentials right there as well. All right, here's the retest. There's 220s. If it holds. Again, look at gold, guys. Hey, look at gold. Look at gold right here. Gold now technically green on the day for gold. Gold is now effectively green on the day. It's pushing up. It's at 4,044s for gold, almost at 4,050. And going back to the NASDAQ just broke down under this crucial level right here. Look at this, 220. This is why I don't get the retest in, but see if we end up holding right now. NASDAQ still breaking down here. We're right at the 200 exponential. Let's see if we hold. All right, guys. NASDAQ did bounce right there at the 200 EMA. Gold's still elevated. Again, gold's still elevated. Look at this bounce right here at the 200 exponential. It's a little whippy this morning, guys. Just be careful. I want to see if we hold 220 here, though. I might buy this dip again. Let's see. I want a 15-minute chart. 220. We got a cushion on the day. We'll try to add to it if it keeps dropping down. 6 here. That's probably a little bit too large, actually. But okay. We got a cushion on the day. Let's see if we trace back up. All right, we're basically flat. There we go. We pop back. I'm gonna reduce some of my size here just a little bit. Probably a good move too. We're back up to flat on the position here. I'll reduce maybe one more position in this. Here. There we go. We're in two. We're flat now. Or no, we're not flat, but we're green on the rest. There we go, we're green. There we go. Nice. Take some more off up here. There we go. Take some more off up here. Just gonna let this work, go break even. We're green on the day. We're green on the trade. But I'm gonna let it work up there, hopefully. If not, we'll cut it. It keeps climbing up. I changed this music. Not really my style. Here we go. We'll try to add to this and go double size. Rip up more. There we go. Another piece off up there. Yeah, we're letting the rest work a little bit. We've already cut it, most of it. We'll cut out break even if it doesn't hold, but hopefully it continues to push up. Go. I'm gonna cut it on this pop. I am trading on Top Step X right now. Top Step X, 0 commission, no PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, some currencies. A great way to learn how to day trade when most day traders lose. And so it's just the best way to learn. Most day traders are going to lose money regardless of where they go, right? And they're a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased. Confirm it all with them. I can't guarantee anything. But genuinely useful just because it allows you to get started for cheap. Like, there's no PDT rule. Day trading equities, very similar to day trading stocks. No PDT restrictions. Just a good way to learn when most day traders lose money. Again, I'll put the link up if you want to help support the channel. Again, not an investment professional. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. And I'll put it to the top of the chat. All right, so yeah, here's my floating head. Y'all want me to move it to the right? Over here? All right, guys. Give me some. What should I be for Halloween, guys? Let me know. What should I be? Let me know what I should be for Halloween. Alright, guys. NASDAQ still chopping sideways. If I really wanted to go deep with a Halloween costume, I could do something like this. Ready? See if the market holds. NASDAQ down at 26,217s here. I need to make this a little smaller, though. You're welcome. All right. Yeah. Let me get this out of the way. Blocking charts here. All right, guys. Again, NASDAQ's chopping right around the 200 exponential. We're kind of sitting tight here. Gotta kind of wait for this to move. NASDAQ starting to pop back up. Again, watch the SPY. Meta did drop drastically, so maybe my second dip buy wasn't the right move either. There we go. That's better. The super chat question, which one? Oh, I didn't see it. Hey, John, question of the week. If crypto didn't exist, where do you think the majority of that money would be invested in instead? I mean, I think it would probably go, like, you got to understand, it's going to go with, like, gold maybe, or, thank you for the donation, by the way. But yeah, I would say it's going to go with, like, gold. It could also go with, like, tech in general, you know? What are the more volatile moving markets, like tech in general, maybe? Forex sometimes. So it just depends. Like, you got to look at how much the market, like, what did everybody invest in the 90s that was cool? Forex, you know, tech, AI probably at this point in time. I could make myself the two-headed Jerome Powell. Again, let's watch 220s. NASDAQ's pretty flat. Nvidia's rebounding back up. Look at Nvidia right here. I'll put it up on this chart. Nvidia at 207s. 207s. Netscape. Commodities. Yeah, it could be commodities. Invested in a bubble. I don't know. In hindsight, it might have been a bubble. But if you look at where internet companies are now, it's still a lot of them. A lot of the investments were still justifiable. So. Bessent said he talked to Russian, Iranian oil buys with Singapore Prime Minister. Again, we do have some economic data, but the rest of it's closed because of the shutdown, unfortunately. Nasdaq's starting to head back down. Again, Meta's not looking good here. We bought the dip again, but it was very small. Meta's kind of filling the gap right now. Pretty fast, too, fortunately. Look at Meta fade. Filled the whole gap. Yeah, I've got the greatest idea of all time. You guys aren't ready. See if I can actually do it, though. Hold on. All right, Nasdaq's starting to break down here. Still struggling here, guys. Still struggling. All right, we're at 214s. I'm Jerome Powell's ventriloquist doll. This is what I am today. Yeah, it's kind of boring right now, so my job is to entertain here. All right, guys. Hey, look at 212. We're bouncing here. We're trying to bounce. Yeah. Water's transitory, guys. All right, Meta at 670s. Yeah, honestly, Meta's not looking good here. I'll have to cut my position if it keeps dropping. Who knew Meta would fill half the entire gap today, man? Look at Meta up here. I rest 220s here, 220s. This is enough to make people happy. Listen, that's what I'm here for. I'm a ventriloquist dummy today. Okay, so that's my job today. It's Friday, market's slow. Nasdaq's starting to flush down here, though. Look at this. Nasdaq breaking down. We're at 26,200s or so. Nvidia's falling down. See if we get a little bounce here. Meta's bouncing one green candle here. Nvidia now under the VWAP and under the 200 exponential. Gold is back down under the previous closing price. So gold is back to technically red on the day. If we take a look at like oil this morning, oil up to over 61 or over 60s here. Oil spiking back up. Is John wearing a Halloween costume? No, this is really me. You know, this is not a costume, apparently. This is actually me right now. I'm like Willy Wonka. I put myself into the screen, and this is actually me. Okay. All right, oil just tapped 61s. Again, a lot of what's driving the market, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple released earnings over the last 2 days. Amazon is up big, over 10%. So is Apple. Although Apple did fade a little bit. Oil is elevated. Gold is technically green on the day again just now. Markets are slow. The president has suggested using the, quote, nuclear option, which would mean changing the necessary votes to only a simple majority, getting rid of the 60 vote necessary amount and changing it to a simple majority and ending the shutdown. I don't think it's going to happen today. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week is my guess. I asked AI to give me a breakdown into when they think it would end. All right, next week AI has it 60% likely between November 3rd and November 9th. So basically before next Sunday. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday is when AI thinks it's the most plausible. Bitcoin on the other end here, chat. Is at 110s, back up to 110. Still green on the day. It was at about 107s yesterday. It's now back up to 110s, which is good. Oil rising over 61 right now, short term. Fed's Logan has been speaking. Logan's been speaking. They said, I am disappointed to see tri-party repo rates exceed SFR rate. Disappointed to see that. Dealers may now need to step up readiness to access SRF. Might be room for modest decreases in reserves. Fed already mitigated employment risk with September cut. Dealers may now step up to readiness. Reiterated time has come for Fed to modernize target rate. The size and timing of asset purchases shouldn't be mechanical. They said I would find it difficult to cut rates in December. And again, if we take a look at the odds for December, odds for September cut are currently 67%. 67% odds of September cut. Again, 67% if you look at these. That's right, Cap. Jerome Powell's ventriloquist doll. Get a nice cut out of this. Hold on. You think you're smart until you have to spell ventriloquist, you know? Almost got it right. There's an O instead of an A. Again, so the odds 67%. We do have some data, but it's not big data, to be honest. Chicago PMI, maybe it moves markets, maybe it doesn't. Again, we're going to be day trading live at the opening bell here. Hopefully we get some good stuff. Y'all yell at me if meta starts to really flush. Look at oil. Gold. Yeah, I see oil move up. Is today a buy or sell? Let me know in chat right now. Is today a buy or sell? Yeah, look at oil right here. What platform do you use to read news? I use a bunch of different sources, to be honest. Fed's Logan says, I did not see a need to cut rates this week. The economic outlook did not call for it. The labor market is roughly balanced, cooling slowly. Again, look at oil spike up more here, chat. 61.34s for oil. I don't know what to do with this. Like, we're still kind of elevated close to highs, but now we're fading back down under the 200 exponential. Let's watch 26,200 here. Maybe 26,200 holds. This is a buy or sell. Logan says if recent rise in repo rates turns out to not be temporary, Fed would need to begin buying assets. Fed balance sheet much closer to normal size. The supported decision to end balance sheet runoff. Consumer spending slightly exceeds longer run trend. Stock market gains fuel wealthier household demand. Then layoffs, unemployment, and claims have stayed low, though mindful of recent layoff announcements. Fed's Logan says break-even payroll growth has likely fallen to 30,000 jobs per month. Yeah, we'll see, guys. We'll see. NASDAQ flushing down here under 26,200s. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. It's Friday, guys. It's the last day of the month. It's also like the market was in a range most of the morning here. You know? So here's all the way back to yesterday. We broke out of that range slightly, ran big, and then dumped all the way back down here, kind of trapping longs. And so at this point in time, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to sit tight and wait. We're getting closer to the bell. We got 20 minutes, so. Lagarde says the EU is accelerating its CBDC plans. They expect full digital rollout by 2029. UBS is reportedly moving towards leaving Switzerland via New York Post, citing sources. Groundwork is reportedly begun being laid for a potential move to the US. Meetings have been held with the president and admin officials. All right, guys, now we're under 26.2s. Again, here's the SPY. Oil's been spiking up a little bit. Here's the SPY at 685s. Right now, 685s. I don't know if it's been a crazy morning. I mean, we've been mostly flat. We broke out of that range. The last, like, 30 minutes has been kind of wild, though. So, again, oil rising. Probably on the Venezuela news. Nasdaq got really close to 275. And then came all the way back down, trapping longs. And now we're back in the range we were this morning. So we've had a big range, but now we're back in this choppy sideways trend here that we've been in. You know, so we did make a push out of it. I don't know if this is good or not, but we did make a push out of it. We'll see if we hold now. Sold the rest of my quantum. Where's quantum stocks at? And again, if you guys have any stocks you want me to take a look at, let me know. You know, if you guys have any stocks you want me to look at, let me know. Here's Rigetti. Rigetti back down to 41s. I mean, is it time to buy the dip in quantum? Is the question. Rigetti went from 60 down to 40. Roughly. That's roughly a, what, 33% drop. Starting to rebound back up. If we look at like QBTS, same thing. Dipped from highs down to medium term. Although QBTS dropped like 50%. And there's other ones obviously as well. But NEM, Newmont. I mean, the trend looks good and it's in a pullback for Newmont, for NEM stock. It's a gold mining company, so I mean, it's been benefiting from gold's rise and pulling back with gold. But yeah, I mean, it's just pinned to the price of gold, though, is the thing, right? It's a mining stock, so interesting if you like gold. Yeah, I mean, I see QBTS again. QBTS pulled back 50% roughly, almost 50%, not quite. It's pulled back to 25 from 47 or so, almost 50%. I try to tell you about buying IREN at 11, but you don't listen. I'm sorry, bro. Listen, I know I should take buying advice from random people in the chat, and you're absolutely right. You know, I should have just listened to some random dude in the chat, regardless of whether it goes up or down. No offense, but I'm not going to listen to you guys most of the time, unless I like the position too, and IREN's a little bit too cheap for my tastes. You know, at least it was at 11. So yeah, you might have been right, but again, for me, it's just not my style. This isn't me right now. I'm not speaking right now. Jerome Powell's speaking. You just can't see his lips move. What this is. JC Penney? They used to be a stock. Are they still a stock? I don't think so, right? It was JCP was the stock, but yeah, they're no longer around. App 11. I mean, it's okay. It's up big. Good on the year. The problem with APP, to be honest, for me personally, right? The big issue with APP is that it's up. It's almost up 100% already this year. And so, you know, it is in a dip, and so maybe we get a dip buy, but I don't know. The dip's just not quite dippy enough for me for APP. And it's up 100% this year. So, you know, you can see APP started the year at like 320s, 330s, now at 620s. That's just up a little bit too much for my taste, brother. I hope you make money on it, though. You know, not against you. If I created a John BT coin, maybe the top 3 coins ever. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes left until the open. Yeah, today I'm Jerome Powell's ventriloquist dummy as my costume. Gold technically green on the day, just tapped 40,050 again. All right, we're coming back down here, chat. Back down to 26,204s. Macy's is still a company. Bro, have y'all been to a Macy's recently, though? I've been to a Macy's recently. One of the people in my family were trying to buy a swimsuit this summer. And so we stepped into a Macy's. Nobody's there. It's empty. Nobody was there. It was empty. It was just weird. I think Macy's gonna go out of business eventually, obviously. You know, I don't know about when it's gonna be. Macy's, you know, with that said, Macy's is technically green on the year. The problem with Macy's is that, and it might do well during holidays, it's been downtrending. Macy's was at $73 in 2016. $73 is now at $20 a share. It's lost a large chunk of its value. So, I don't expect Macy's to hold it out for very long. Maybe 5 years. And then Macy's going to be done too. Again, if you've gone to a Macy's, nobody was in there the last time I went. Now, maybe during the holidays it might be different, but... yeah, Sears kind of... Macy's options. Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to be around. I really just don't know if it's going to be around. Do people buy from Macy's online? I'm not sure. Like, again, I don't remember if that's like a thing. Let's take a look at Macy's revenue just for... honestly, their revenue is decreasing for sure. It's not decreasing as much as I thought it might, though. Like, if we look at Macy's revenue graph here. I mean, obviously, we're seeing downward trends in Macy's. I don't think anybody would expect upward trends in it. But it's not as steep as I thought it might be. Yeah, like, it's about like that. The last few years since 2020 have been the steepest. Starting here is 2020. All right, so that's when we're starting to see a big decline. But, yeah, I mean, it's obviously going down. It's a big store to open in the mall, too, so the margins can't necessarily be good either. What about their EPS? Yeah, I mean, their margins aren't good. Negative growth recently for there as well. Like, 2020 hit them the hardest, but... all right, NASDAQ rejecting at the 200 exponential. What charts would you guys prefer I have up on screen? Which charts? Macy's packages? Nokia is flying up on the AI deal that happened a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago, I should say. It's down a little bit today, though. It's under $7 a share. Bitcoin is, again, still... yeah, I see gold. Gold is this chart right here. This chart is gold. Gold's technically green. This previous closing price is 4,038. So gold's technically green on the day. Dillard's, bro. I think Dillard's will go before Macy's does. Same thing with Kohl's. Although I haven't been in a Kohl's in a long time. Yeah, the S&P. Here's the SPY. Buy at 685s. If it holds. Okay, let's do a poll right now. Let's do another poll here. We're going to end this one. The poll is going to be, is the market trend up or down after the opening bell today? Up, down, and then we're going to have sideways as another option here as well. Again, here's the SPY chart. Vote on the poll. We got the poll up. 43%, 41% say up, 41% say down, 17% say sideways. We'll see which one wins. Sweep up and then down. Maybe. Again, at this point, down has the most votes, but it's trending back and forth in the poll at this point. Bitcoin made another little edge up here if we look at Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin green on the day. Noticeably green. We got 8 minutes until the open. Let's see what the Federal Reserve's got scheduled next week. All right, so it's November next week. Waller speaking, a bunch of speakers. We got the Fed minutes on the 19th. Yeah, Bitcoin sideways. SPY. I mean, most things are sideways right now. Again, we tried to make a breakout of the sideways chop for Friday here. You know, we tried to make a breakout of it, and then we came right back down, and now we're sitting here. So we're not really doing much. We tried to make a run, and then we got, maybe you could argue a dip buy. But it is Halloween. It is Friday. It is the last day of the month here. So we'll see what we get today. Was Tom Aspinall's eye gouge intentional? You mean Cyril gone? Did he do it on purpose? Maybe. I mean, I think it's plausible that he watched how John Jones fought and understood that Jones does a very similar thing where he's trying to post off of the person to set up a strike, but it also kind of keeps them from moving forward as well. And so it's plausibly deniable. You know, and I think Tom Aspinall took the easy way out. I can't really blame him for it. You know, if you're starting to lose a fight and you got one eye, it might not be best to, you know, but yeah. All right, guys, we're at 198s, 197s right now. Again, Netflix 10-to-1 split. So if we take a look at Netflix here, Netflix share price, I believe it's November 27th. They're going to reduce their price 10x. So this will be $110 a share if it stays here leading into next month. So that's where we're at now. Again, if it stays here, it will be about $110 a share from 1,100 or so for Netflix. If Netflix PE ratio wasn't so high, I might buy it on the dip too, based off of earnings. Heading into the holiday season, you know, we'll see. All right, guys, the opening bell is basically here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Apple's starting to break down. So Apple just fell drastically here. Meta just spiked up. See if there's some news. Apple broke down just now. China announces a fine of 37 Interactive for 9 million won due to disclosed violations. Again, look at Netflix spike. Meta spiked as well. You love to see it. I kind of needed the Meta spike. We'll see how the opening bell treats me, though. Nvidia moving up a little bit as well. Chevron CEO says CapEx is down while production is up more than 20%. All right, Meta 673s right now. Palantir co-founder says AI giants face endless capital hunt but afraid to scare their investors. Getting some movement. Apple dipped pretty big though. We're starting to see a rebound back up. Again, gold still elevated on the day slightly at 43 versus 38. Previous close. Again, we did this poll. 47% think we're going to go up from the opening bell. 31% think down. 19% think sideways. So we're honestly pretty split down the middle between down and sideways and up. Again, 3 minutes, chat. 3 minutes. Headed back up to 674s. Wonder if Netflix downtrends for a bit after the split. Sometimes can happen. Yeah, I saw that trade about the US Venezuela thing. Alright, we bought the dip in Meta. It's looking better now. Let's see if it continues back up after the opening bell. We got 2.5 minutes left. PC inflation's delayed, government shutdown, unfortunately. So we're at the realm of, or we're all dependent on whether they get the government shut down or not. I hope they do, of course. I'm ready for them to get the government resumed. Cover economic data again. But I don't know when it's going to be. My guess is early next week is when the shutdown will end, but I'm not 100% sure. Meta's still pushing up ahead of the opening bell. Nasdaq's still struggling to get over the 200 exponential at 210, though. It's over 200 again, though. Let's see what happens. We got 2 minutes. Again, make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed, chat. You'll catch up. Yeah, I did dip by Meta. I'm hoping it continues higher today. I don't know if it will, though. Meta fizzling. Yeah, I mean, it's right at the 200 exponential VWAP area. Like this right here. 200 EMA VWAP area. So. It was close. Let's see if Meta holds. All right, so Treasury Secretary Bassett met with Singapore's Prime Minister and discussed crypto stuff. That came out earlier. All right, 10 seconds, guys. Let's see what we get. It's time. Gotta still rip it up, though. This is the opening bell, though, here, guys. And it is Friday. Nvidia falling down a little bit at the open. Nvidia down to 206. Again, Meta giving it all back already. Don't do it to me, Meta. Come on, bounce back. NASDAQ still coming down, though. Will this be a scary Friday here, chat? Meta with a pretty large drop, but Nvidia is actually bouncing back some here. Apple trying to retrace back up. Where's Microsoft at right now? Microsoft down too. Luckily, my Meta position is very small. We'll hold it past the previous closing price and then cut it if it breaks. Definitely see it more red than green, but Meta's kind of weighing things down. All right. Meta's just a tad bit too volatile for me. I want to see if it bounces at the previous close. That's my level. That light blue line. NASDAQ flushing, though, with Meta. Again, we're right at the previous closing price here, though. Meta's going red on the day. Again, I'm letting it test this, but I will cut it. Luckily, again, very small position. We have like 15 shares. And with that, we are going to cut it. Microsoft dumped down too. If you want to see the other one driving this. Microsoft fading down here. Yeah, definitely a little scary drop at the open. We did our best with Meta. Amazon stock value up over 12%. NASDAQ up. Microsoft Meta down. Again, look at Microsoft rebound all the way back up. So a big move and then a quick retracement back up here. All right, quick little pop back up. We're gonna day trade some other stuff here too, if we get it. Get out there, maybe. We're gonna get out. There we go. Alright, we're watching at 151 here. Maybe I'll buy this dip, but it's kind of a scary dip to buy, but I'll risk it. We're green on the day. Let's see if we bounce at 151 right here. Wait, what time is it? We could basically trade. Alright, there we go. We took half off there. Got a bounce. Little scary of a drop. We're still green on the day. I can maybe add back here, see if we retrace back up after this drop. I think maybe 6. There we go. We're green. Hold the green. There we go. We're going to take half off there. Take some more off up here. We're also short Meta right now, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to go and get the rest out right there. Nvidia's holding back up though here, so Nvidia's trying to fight its way back up. We got the bounce at 150 like we wanted, which is good. Nvidia's trying to get back up there though, so we are seeing something in Nvidia. We're gonna get out of our meta short there. Meta getting pushed back down. Microsoft testing lows. Nvidia's coming back though. It's trying. Microsoft's still struggling though. Again, I'm kinda day trading some stocks here. There we go. Look at Nvidia though, guys. So let me put up. There's Microsoft. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia's getting. Where's the all-time highs in Nvidia? 212s. So Nvidia's getting up there. At least it's trying to get up there. Meta's still looking very weak though. There we go. We're kind of scalping some stocks. I've made most of the money back. Again, look at Nvidia though rise. It's dragging everything else up, but if Nvidia stops rising here, Nvidia's up to 208s on the day. If it stops rising, it could drag everything else down. Again, gold's kind of flattening out up there if you look at it. Oh, we do have Chicago PMI today. I completely forgot. Let me get that ready. Chicago PMI 945 today. So we do have something going on today. Yeah. 9:45 when this drops. That's in about 6 minutes. So we do have Chicago PMI data, 9:45. Yeah, scalp it again. Dip it away. NASDAQ breaking down here. Look at Microsoft just crack lows down to almost 524s for Microsoft. NASDAQ starting to come back down here. Get Microsoft at 524s. And it coming back down to test lows. Alright, I'm kind of day trading this a little bit here. What a drop. And I started to cover. All right, here's the red. See if we keep dropping here. Yikes. Big drops. We're right at these lows now. Microsoft starting to pop back up. Bitcoin coming back down too. Microsoft still technically red. Nvidia's trying to get some rebound back up here. Apple went down. Is Apple dropping significantly too? Let me see. Yeah, Apple fading back down too, giving back a lot of these earnings. It's Friday though, guys, so we'll see what we get. Microsoft dumping back here. Yeah, I mean, I made some money shorting. Can't beat the shorts, join them for sometimes. And look at Microsoft give it back too. If the tech market continues to correct here, I'm just kind of waiting here. This is a lot of steep action going up in charts. So yeah, kind of shorting, covering, shorting, covering. All right, let's see if the red ends here. Nvidia did bounce back up to 207.50s. We do have Chicago PMI. Oh, I forgot. Chicago PMI is dropping very soon. Chicago PMI expected today at, what is it expected at? 42.3. 42.3 for Chicago PMI. We'll see what we get. Drops in about a minute here, chat. 1 minute. NASDAQ almost back down to 26,000 though. Chicago PMI drops in about 40 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. We'll cover it as soon as it drops. Expected at 42.3 for Chicago PMI. 42.3. Again, 25 seconds. 25 seconds for Chicago PMI. The purchasing managers index 42.3. What's expected. And it drops in about 10 seconds. And here we go. 42.3 expected. I don't think it's government data. If it shows up. Yeah, honestly, I don't see it out. Let me look this up. All right, 43.8. 43.8. What it showed up as. Forecast 42. Came in at 43.8, stronger than expected. Markets did rebound a little bit here, though. Yeah, 43.8. NASDAQ is broken down significantly. Nvidia's starting to test these lows too, which is kind of... Apple's bouncing back though. Look at Microsoft still. Microsoft's still the weak one on the day. Meta is weak too, but Meta's trying to fight its way back. Microsoft's still looking pretty weak at lows, essentially. Bitcoin back up too. I might want to go long, but I'm gonna wait. We'll try maybe one if we get a retracement back down. And then NASDAQ. We've been day trading stocks a little bit more today. Ah, there's a rip. Missed it. Wanted a little dip to get it. If not, all right. I don't think this retracement is slightly big enough, unfortunately. Need a little bit more. Hey, thank you for the donation. Well, it's higher than expected though. Even if it was a bad number, it's probably a little bit higher than expected for Chicago PMI. Chicago PMI was expected at 42.3 and it ended up showing higher than that. So it's stronger than expected for the Purchasing Managers Index. Point is, I don't know how bad of a number it is. It was slightly higher than expected. Meta's back at lows of the day here. Might buy this dip in the NASDAQ, see if we pop. I think we're down too much. We're gonna take 2 or 3, maybe 4. There we go. Get a little bit more profit here. Take a little bit off. There we go. Catching the rip. I'm sitting at a small little piece of this now. Might add a little bit more on the bottom. That is starting to weigh the market down. All right, we're in 5. Let's see if we can go back green on the day. Been a pretty green week. I don't want to ruin it with too big of size, though, if we start breaking down. There we go. We're popping back up. We're still green on the day. We'll take another piece off up there. There's the rebound that we wanted. We'll take another piece up there. Meta Microsoft still struggling, though. gonna try to buy this again. We've got a pretty green day so far. There we go. Another pop. There we go. Nice. All right, good. Catching bounces here, but Nvidia's starting to trend the opposite way, so we just got to be a little weary here. Definitely a little bit more volatile of a Friday, though. Apple's also technically red on the day. Meta's still flushing down, looking weak. Sell-off in Meta is deep. Do I want to buy this again? I don't know. $43.8 still bearish. Yeah, total it's definitely weakening. Under 50 is contracting in that sector, right? So, you know, in manufacturing, it's weakening. Manufacturing is what it is. This is a scary Friday, though, guys, to be honest. Las Vegas seen 2 million less visitors so far this year. We're kind of chopping sideways, though. Should have bought it more. Yeah, Meta's looking scary today. Definitely spooky markets today for sure. Hey, y'all give me a follow at x.com at beginner trades. X.com at beginner trades. We cover a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I don't even know what to do with this now. Nasdaq coming back down some more. Nvidia under 205s. Yeah, here's Meta. Meta filling even more of the gap, starting off really strong. And then just giving a lot of this back. I'll try to buy this right here. There we go. Take some more off. We'll hold this last one, break even. Look at this pop. All right, we'll cut it right there. Starting to see some rebounds and stocks. Market's just chopping sideways. It's Friday, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a great day. I love you all. Check out Top Step if you want to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. Beautiful way to help support the channel. There's 0 PDT rule in futures. Get you around the PDT rule. You can day trade as much as you want. $50 for the base one on Top Step. If you If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account. If you fail it, you lose 50 bucks. There's a ton of great options as well. You can get a $100,000 account, $150,000 account. Some of the best rules and easiest payouts in the game. They paid out millions, fun thousands. 0 commission on Top Step X. Y'all have a safe night tonight. Y'all be good. Have a great day. There's the link for Top Step right there. You can also check it out in the description. And again, as soon as I close the stream, it'll bring you to Friday or to Monday's stream. So yeah, be ready. Again, as soon as we close the stream, it'll bring you to Monday's stream. Gonna start Monday, then November 3rd. Will the shutdown end next week, guys? That's the question I got for you guys today. Will the shutdown end? I really don't know. Again, y'all have a great day. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Check out Top Step. Link is